Meghan gets mocked by the host who asked Meghan and pointed out to Meghan some very unhappy truth for Meghan Markle again. Take a listen.
Content in different sizes. So part of what we're testing out now is it's amazing to be able to sit and watch a show for 30 minutes, but how can I give you a recipe in 2 minutes? And where can I share that with you? And how that continues to grow as ever. So exploring all the options of what it could look like.
That's great. So the holiday special in November, we'll keep an eye out for that.
I do lots of gift wrapping techniques. You guys know I used to teach gift wrapping at Paper Source and advanced gift wrapping. So, all of those things that you do as an auditioning actor, that's not the full circle I was expecting, but here we are.
Yeah, you had a lot of odd jobs. Froyo was another one.
Oh, yeah. Humphrey Yogurt, that was my first job. And, when I used to do calligraphy, I used to do it for so many celebrity weddings and for hotels. And that was in between auditions. And at the time, I don't know why I didn't think to just buy a glove, but you don't want the natural oils from your hands to get on the beautiful paper. So I would just put a white tube sock on my hands, right? All these.
So one thing you will notice right off the bat when Meghan Markle talks and she explains to you what she did when she was young, is that she will always give this impression that she was working very, very hard, and whatever she was doing, she was paying attention to details. I mean, when she cannot come up with anything solid, she will just make you listen to all the garbage. That's literally what she does every time, including here.
Very fancy cards for people.
Amazing. Well, a long way from the white tube socks on your hands, but we can all appreciate that.
Yes.
So I'm curious, as you think about expansion for As Ever, we've talked a little bit about, obviously there's global appeal that you could tap into, and there's also stores. Right now you're direct to consumer. Can we expect to see some of your stuff maybe in like a Target, or where could we physically buy it, do you think, in the next year?
Well, I think...
Okay, so that is not the question Meghan would want to answer, especially at this point. Why? Because her product launch was a complete disaster, and we know she doesn't have any product. Most of the time, she would source them by buying directly from the suppliers and then claim that product to be hers. By putting those labels, she tries to make a case that, yeah, I'm running a business and I'm a businesswoman and this and that. But at the same time, you'll notice that the quantities of those products are so minimum, so less, like maybe 10 or 15 of them. And the reason for that is because not just she doesn't have product herself, but also she wants everybody to believe that these are all selling out really, really fast. When you have only 10, 15 products, you buy it yourself because I don't know if there is any genuine buyer or any customer is buying it from her, but it's easy to really manipulate, to gaslight people into believing what is not true.
Retail component is so important, especially in growing a business, but also what I'm really working to convey, and my intention with As Ever, is getting back to things that are tactile, how we connect with each other. You want to put your hands on it. How does it feel? And you can only convey so much of that, obviously, in videos or in e-commerce. So I think my intention would be to have really bespoke, small retail collaborations, do some interesting ones as well in global territories. And then, of course, as you think about scaling, it's a brand that's accessible, but it still has a quality that feels as though it's masstige. And so when we think about larger retailers, I think in the next couple of years, that would make sense.
Okay. So again, she is saying that my product, even though, okay. So first of all, let's unpack this. Very, very, very important. She says online all the time that her products are in high demand and is very, very hot and people are buying it, left and right. Every time she puts up a product online, it gets all sold out. And then on the same token, she will come to an interview and tell us that it will take at least 2 years for her products to hit the retail market. Like, how does it even possible? If your products are selling out that fast, at least that's what she is saying, then why are you not still supplying it to the retailers in places like Walmart or Target that this host asked Meghan Markle? Like, she is always lying.
Great. And then I wanted to think about, or talk about how you are using social media to pair content and commerce and promotion. You took a hiatus from Instagram. You came back.
January. Woo, it's changed.
You're back. You're in action. But you're not on TikTok. I'm curious, why, will you be going on TikTok?
I don't know. I think, look, I have a very complicated relationship with social media, as you can probably imagine. And I also recognize the role that it plays in business. Part of it is, equally the work that you were talking about earlier. My husband and I spend a lot of time working on online harms, specifically surrounding protecting our children, not ours personally, but all of our children, for what they're susceptible to in the online space. So I'm sensitive to that. I also recognize that if you can show up in these spaces and be on the side of good, there is tremendous value in that also.
So now she's changing her position. So social media, after all, is not all bad. There is some good in it, and so I'm going to be taking advantage of it. Unbelievable. Like, why would you then go around and tell people, hey, be aware of social media? And I mean, just a few months ago, when she was giving an interview with CBS, Jane, I think her name, I forgot the name, she told her that online platform, they're all bad, and people should protect their children from it, online harm. And then all of a sudden you're seeing that same person, Meghan Markle, talking about, oh, no, it's not all bad. Actually, something is good about this. Why is she saying that? Well, it is because she knows she cannot run anything. I mean, she cannot be present. She cannot be relevant without social media. So, Meghan, make up your mind. What do you want to do?
Continue to expand the footprint in the social and digital space for the brand. For me personally, I don't know. The last time I was on Instagram, you guys, Boomerang was a thing. That was a long time ago. So having started in January...
What she's talking about here? I mean, I don't know. What? Like, boomerang of thing, like, nobody cared, Meghan Markle, nobody cared. This is why she doesn't have followers on, for example, on Instagram. She doesn't have any follower on TikTok. She doesn't have any follower even for her business product that she launched. She couldn't sell it. If you go to the website, she only has a handful of people viewing her website. And for the Instagram, she had, I think, 400,000. She, bought paid subscribers, and then it never grew because she is running out of money. So she is not really increasing her reach. She is not buying new bots.
I just started to explore and play in this same way that anyone else does when they're online. I just happened to do it with a little bit more attention on what I was doing.
Yeah. It's a hard decision to make because obviously people want to be hearing from you, but then they have lots of opinions that they stick in there that are not welcome, not helpful. And I'm curious, as you are, founders always have to look for signals in what's working, what's not working, how do I tinker, how do I pivot? How are you able to decipher out like the constructive from obviously the not constructive that you need to ignore?
Well, there are certain things that I've done just for my own self-preservation, but also that I've applied to the brand and for the people that are incredibly supportive. I know, the question can be around naysayers, but if you really see the groundswell of support that surrounds the brand and me, that's what I feel the most, and that's what I appreciate. But by design, I also recognize that a lot of those people aren't going to my page to see negativity. And so not just protecting myself or the people that work with me, but also the supporters. So I don't have the comment section on. That's a choice. And yet part of...
Okay, I mean, come on. She just said it. She doesn't have a comment section on. Why? Because most of the time she gets negative reviews. Yes, she says, I have supporters, but I turn my comment section off. I don't want people to comment on it because I know will not say good things about me. So Meghan Markle on camera admitted that she is a complete failure and that people don't like her. And whatever she is doing, people don't agree with that.
That challenge that I was trying to solve for was, then how do I create community? That is so key to this brand, and it's so key to how I like to show up in the world. How do we actually connect if you can't have comments and exchange? So my social media manager would send me screen grabs of different things that people were posting in their UGC. And I said, okay, what am I going to do here? They said, you could do a text overlay and respond. And I said, oh no, in the same way that on my own camera roll at home, I'll zoom in and I can scribble a little note and send it to a friend. I've just started this construct where I will start writing in my handwriting a note to users who put up content. So I said, let's find small and creative ways to engage the community and let them know that I'm listening, that I really see and appreciate their feedback. So I think a lot of it is...
I don't know what kind of rubbish idea that is. I don't know why she's getting all of this really nonsense. I mean, why would you just not respond to the comment online? Why you would have to take a screenshot? Why you have to... Oh my God, like she's all theatrics. She's all drama. She doesn't know what she's talking about. That's not how I respond to my comments when I have comments from people. I mean, wow. You have to take a screenshot and...
Just designing what works best for you while also being really cognizant of what is going to help grow the business with an intentional and authentic point of view. And that's what I'm constantly working to try to achieve.
Yeah,
I think,
I mean, remember, she was called out as somebody who is not authentic. One very famous TV personality, she called her out that Meghan Markle is not authentic. And I think I forgot the name, but that's what she said about Meghan Markle. So Meghan Markle knows that people don't like her, and celebrities, online celebrities, they're also calling her out for being such a fake. So keeping that in mind, she's now pitching her point to the audience that, hey, but look, even the people are saying all the negative things about me, including, celebrities, successful people, but that is not true. But Meghan doesn't have to tell us whether she's authentic or fake, because we can see with our own eyes that she's fake, just like she's fake in here. So, I mean, this is going to be an absolute disastrous interview. I mean, I don't know why she does it. She appears in these interviews and she just embarrasses herself.
So hard, the whole online experience. And we were talking also backstage about a study that I don't know how many of you saw this in the FT over the weekend. They were showing, have we possibly reached peak social media as of 2022? And there are definitely charts that show, yes, engagement time across social platforms has gone down, and it's being led to do that.
Well, I think you have to work as a team. You're only as solid as the rest of the people around you. And also, I want the life-work balance. The tight team, yes, of course.
And so how do you decide where you're going to show up in those moments? Because I know you love detail and you want to be in charge of a lot. So how do you do that?
Well, I think you have to work as a team. You're only as solid as the rest of the people around you. And also, I want the life-work balance, if such a thing exists. I'm still going to go and chaperone the first grade field trip and then run back and try to finish the meetings. I love the creative part, which I think I've touched on quite a bit. And the brand is an extension of my aesthetic. But it's more than that. The operational side is so key. And I am constantly looking at ways in which how do we adjust our margins? What does our spend look like? Really going through P&L. So I think
I mean, come on, Meghan. She's saying basically that her business is becoming so big, and it is so big, and then she has to do this, she has to do that. And then the next thing you know is that she doesn't even have a CEO for her company. Like, if you're so busy, why don't you hire a company? If you're so if you're making so much profit, why don't you hire someone and pay them?
Standpoint, it's really all of it holistically, and I don't think there's any founder in year one that would say something differently, not if they had the ambition to scale in the way that I do.
And for final question, I know financial independence has always been important to you, and you've said that it's the most empowering thing. I agree. And I think all the women in this room who are incredibly hardworking, every job is hard, but these career women also would agree. How do you think about that? You had a whole career, very successful before you got married. You're having a whole other career now. What's the importance of financial independence to you?
Well, financial independence is what gives you the freedom of choice. And I think in this day and age, we all need to be able to have our autonomy. That is a huge element of that. Financial literacy, for that reason, is something that I spend a lot of time on, specifically for young girls and their empowerment. And I think as women, especially in a room like this, we can all probably agree that as women, when we're supporting each other for all of these elements that might not necessarily be the ones that people want to hear us talk about, there's nothing taboo. Doesn't need to be anything taboo about talking about our financial independence or our independence overall. And as women, when we support each other, we are not simply supporting each other's lives, we're supporting each other's legacies. And that's the piece that's so powerful. When I'm supporting or investing in another female founder...
I don't think people wanted to hear that from her about financial independence, because she is not financially independent. She is still depending on a lot on Harry's properties in his inheritance, and she still has her eyes on Diana's inheritance too. I don't know, and I personally don't believe that she is doing well financially, and this is why she would always come up with new and failed business ideas and push Harry to write new memoirs and ask his father to send him more money.
About having a lean team. I think you want to have a great soundboard of people that are with you and with varied points of view. You want someone who's going to push back. You want someone who's going to be so creative and savvy in a space that might not be my skill set. So I love creating that culture, having that camaraderie with my team, and playing and being curious. Constantly just pushing the envelope to ask the questions of how can we show up in a way that truly indicates that we are putting care into every detail.
And how do you decide what you lean into as a CEO? It's a small team. It's like 10 people?
Less than, yes. For the tight team.
So
yes.
She did call her out. Small team, small business, only 10 people. Meghan Markle, the way she's talking like she's a CEO of a very big company. That's literally what she's doing here, Meghan Markle. But she just pointed out, the host, that this is just a small team of 10 people. Like what you pay attention to details, to everything. You are doing this. You are running errands. You are doing social media. Like, come on, you're just a small team. Such an insult. I mean, Meghan will be absolutely fuming when she will watch this video when she goes to California, sitting in the couch, and I'm sure she'll be throwing some dishes, no doubt about that. Kathy Clark, thank you so much, Kathy. Diane, I'll see you in the next video. Have a wonderful day.